So hi everybody, this is me Raman Karthik. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please go and subscribe. So in this video, we are going to see about Loki season 2, episode 5's review with spoilers. So hope you like it. So we are nearing to the final stretch of the Loki season 2. So this series in my Disney Plus Hotstar is kind of everyone's favorite who are in Marvel Cinematic Universe, and in fourth phase of you know this Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is one of the best, and many are fans of this. From the first few episodes, I thought this would be the same thing like the previous Marvel shows, like other shows. Uh, but this was not like that. This was something different. After like third or fourth episode, it got its speed, like the earlier episode, the first episode. So I really love it. I think they'll finish by the sixth episode, or maybe they will continue till the eighth. I don't know how many episodes will be there, but I'm really excited for this episode. So let's begin a kind of review. So as we saw in the fourth episode, Loki and his gang will be in a really dangerous situation. As you can see, the whole time loom will be blasting. So in this episode, we are excited what is gonna happen after that blast in the time loom. So I was really excited, and I thought everything is done when the last episode was there. But somehow Loki, the guy, the hero, is saved. Loki wakes up after the time temporal loom explosion, discovering that everyone else has disappeared. He walks through the empty TV headquarters and begins time slipping again, which he is unhappy about. He briefly finds a man reading the TVA manual, but time slips before he can approach him, and later realizes that the man is actually a version of himself from slightly forward in future. The TVA begins to disintegrate into strings of time as the organizations fail. Safe mode is initiated. Casey, who's seen in the previous episodes, ends up in the jail cell where he and two of his men try to break the prison. And the prison is branched in timeline at Alcatraz in 1962, San Francisco. So this scene, what you see, is actually happened. As in the first season, they took a story from DB Cooper's life. They took it and inserted as if this happened because of Loki. Even this thing, which is shown in this episode 5, has also happened in real life, where they prison break this prison cell, and then they disappeared suddenly, and the police and all said like it happened, they escaped and they went into the river and they drowned and died or something. And this is one of the unsolved mysteries. So this is one interesting fact that I want to include in this. Get back into the main story. Loki season 5, sorry, episode 5. Loki finds Casey, but the Casey didn't recognize him, and his name goes by Frank. They begin to escape in the boat, and Loki time slips away. Loki continues to time slip to McDonald's, to a jet ski store, and to TVS Time Theater. Hunter B-15 is branched timeline in a hospital in 2012, New York. So this 2012 is very important because this is where Avengers, the fight and all happens. Tending to a girl who needs to cast on her arm, Loki time slips in and out of the scene quickly. Mobius, also known as Dawn in his timeline, where he is a jet ski operator in 2022 Cleveland, Ohio. He tries and fails to sell jet ski to a customer. Loki time slips to the store and talks to Dawn, who doesn't recognize him. So those who follow Loki season 1 and 2, this guy Mobius ka main aim is to jet ski. Like he loves jet skiing. So this is something that is teased in this episode. So similarly, we can find Mr. Obi in 1994, and plays Pasadena. So in this episode, this guy Obi is also known as AD Dog, as you said. He returns home that looks a lot like his office in TVA, and Loki time slips to him, and he immediately believes his story. Obi argues that Loki should theoretically be able to control his time slipping and end up back at TVA because the ability already seems to be evolving better. Loki argues that TVA is the last defense to stop Kang and what's coming ahead. Nobi says that mission to save the TVA should be something Loki can control. Loki tries to deliberately time slip and fails. Obi tries different things, electric shock, by scaring him to activate it, but it doesn't work either. Obi eventually suggests that they get the group back together and track their collective temporal auras back to the TVA. The only problem is Obi doesn't think he can build a tempad because he's away from that. Like he's not into TVA from scratch. But Loki is able to give him the TVA manual to help, only to time slip again. Loki ends up outside of Mobius, that is Dawn's house, where he is trying to rein in his two kids, Kevin and Sin. Loki approaches and Dawn decides to sell him one of his personal jet skis because he doesn't need two after the death of his wife. Loki starts telling Dawn about Mobius' real life, and he initially is skeptic until Obi shows up through the time door with a fully functioning tempad, which took him 19 months to build. Dawn worries about leaving his boys behind, but eventually agrees to go with Loki. He is able to convince both Hunter, B-15, and Casey, Frank, to join the cause as well. They all regroup at Obi's house that still leaves Sylvie, who's back in McDonald's in 80s. Her bag of food starts to disappear just as Loki arrives through a time door. Sylvie's life didn't get reset when the time loom exploded. So there are a lot of theories for it because why this guy Loki and Sylvie's time loom has not resetted. They didn't forget anything. If you have anything, please to comment. So after they arrive, she immediately invites Loki into her car and takes him to the local car bar. Loki argues that everyone should have the choice to stay with the TVA or return to their normal lives. Sylvie disagrees. Loki says that he wants his friends back because he doesn't belong without them. Loki returns to the Obi's house and tells everyone to go back home, where he loses hope, which is very hard to see. But Sylvie comes back to the time where this guy Loki goes. Uh, she comes back because Sylvie listens to a Velvet Underground record at her local record store. As reality starts to bleed and disappear around her, at the last possible second, she uses a time door to escape and arrive to Obi's house. Sylvie admits that time is falling apart, and team tries to find the tempad just as Casey begins to disappear. Obi, Hunter, B-15, and Mobius all do the same. Sylvie admits that there is nowhere left to go, and she disappears too. Loki begins to cry. Actually, this is very emotional for me actually because I never seen Loki cry or Loki even sad because this guy is always that person who's fun. He never regrets or cries for anything. Cry out at that time around him and somehow manages to time slip him back in time. First a few seconds, then a minute or so. He tells the group that he was able to successfully control it by focusing on who he wants to travel back to. He successfully time slips back to before the time loop exploded. So there he goes. Then what happens is in the next episodes. So please do subscribe and share. In this channel, this video will be uploaded. Um, like this, many videos will be uploaded of the same Loki season and other Marvel episodes.